Welcome to the Serious Shift Blogcast. We have only one question. What does Serious Shift mean to you? To answer that and much more, here's your host, Dennis Moseley-Williams.
Hi, I'm Dennis, and welcome back once again to the Serious Shift Blogcast. It's an absolute pleasure to have this time with you today. Here's my question. When was the last time something amazing happened for you? Just because you struck up a conversation with a total stranger? That's the question. It's an easy one. Inspired by two things. The first is all these emails I get asking me about my cabin. And the second is by what somebody said to me last week on the telephone when they said, well, as they say, we're in the making friends business. And I said, yeah, it's true. And we both shared some stories about how great things have happened to us just by sort of shooting the breeze with a stranger, you know? And it's like anything else. The more you fire the puck at the net, the more strangers you talk to, the more great stories you have to tell. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to combine these two things. What the heck is up with this cabin you got? And let's talk about talking to strangers. So here it goes. We'll make it light, easy, breezy, and summery today. My cabin is beautiful. It's in the middle of a provincial park. I have 7 neighbors. We run the place like a club. We have caretakers and housekeepers and everything. Shh. I'm living nice up here. There's nobody else on this giant lake but us. We're grandfathered in, and nobody else is ever able to build anywhere in the place but me. Okay? Nobody. There's nobody else ever coming in here. The lake is giant. There are eagles and bears and moose and deer. I've seen a lynx. I got a black fox that lives under the church. Okay? It's like the fabled forest of your imagination. Full stop. I also almost missed out on it by this much. All of it and how incredible it is, and I could fill up hours of blogs telling stories about this place. All of it, I just about missed out on it completely. In fact, I didn't just about miss... It was by this much that I got it. It's not that I missed it. It's that I basically got the luckiest break in my life in a lifetime of lucky breaks. Ready? Here's the story. And this story is about people, as you will see. Suffice to say, this entire operation up here is incredible, and I've been here for 6 weeks. 13 years ago, I go looking for a cabin. Every cabin I find that I can afford is disgusting. I have to tear it down, which means I can't afford it, because I can't afford to tear it down and build another one. Conversely, everything I find that I think, yeah, this'll do, I can't afford by 10 miles. Okay, forget it. So I go looking and searching, and I am very particular for what I want. I want wild. I'm from Northern Ontario. If you can drive to your cottage, it's not really a cottage. If you get the newspaper there, if you refer to it as a lake house, if you have a television in it, that's not a cottage. And you don't even want to know what I think of you. So I go looking up and down every gravel road, dragging my wife along with me, washboard, oh, terrible. I look at every beautiful lake, secret lake, swampy, miserable, grassy lake, you name it, I've seen it. I can't find anything that works. I can't find the magic number. So I give up. Like, again, this close. We gave up. I remember saying maybe we'll just rent cottages and ski chalets. Like, maybe that's just not it. But you have to understand, I'm from Northern Ontario. Having a cottage is a big deal. It's a part of my soul. My DNA is being at the lake in a cabin with my family. I literally have recreated my childhood here. It's like, oh my God. So we pull into this town, and we were going to eat at a McDonald's, I think. We're in this northern town called Maniwaki in Quebec. So, but I messed up the entrance. Had I just been paying more attention, more familiar with the town, I would have turned left, went to McDonald's, and driven home, and this wouldn't have happened. Okay? Instead, I blow the turn. So we're driving down, and I'm kind of thinking, like, is nothing working out? Like, I can't find a cottage. This won't work. That won't work. And my wife says, there's a snack bar. Okay? Like, there's a chip stand, as we call them in Canada, French fry place. And I think, oh, perfect. And we turn down, and I park the car, and I think, phew, the tide has turned. And when we walk up to place our order, I look over, and sitting on the outdoor patio are 2 people who just stick out. They look differently than everybody else does. They're dressed differently. I am telling you, it was like they were aliens from another planet. And indeed, they were. They were from Kentucky. And not only did they look different than everybody else, just the way they were sitting, like light was just shining down on them. Okay, it was like, ah. I literally leave. I just walk away. I walk right to them. I don't know who they are. And I'm in Quebec, and I look right at them, and I know that I can speak to them comfortably in English. I just say, do you know another way into 31 Mile Lake? And we have this conversation, and he says, are you really looking? And he in point of fact said, no, I don't know. The only way I know is the way you know. No. And then, are you really looking? I said, oh yeah, here's what's going on. And I told him, I said, oh God, I've been all over this place and up and down. And so once I discover where I want to go, that's where I'm going to go, I'll call a real estate agent. So he goes, okay. And he sort of looks at his wife, and she goes, these are my friends Angus and Pete. Pete gives Angus the nod. So he says, are you really serious? I said, yes, I am. And he tells me all about his sister's place. And he tells me about this old club that's 100 years old, founded by his grandfather. Angus then would have been in his late 60s. So he's in his late 60s telling me about his grandfather. And he assures me that it's very nice. And he tells me about there's a caretaker and a housekeeper, and it's lovely, and you live your own life here, but sort of like a big cottage condo, if you will. And it's wonderful. So net, here I am beaming into you from there. Clearly the deal worked out, and here I am. And I love everybody here. They're a part of my family. They're a part of my story now. Now, here's why I told you that whole story. When I tell people that whole story, this is what they always say. They hear the whole thing. They don't say, okay, what, you saw lynx? Or did you say it's like in the provincial park and you're the only ones? Or they don't ask, what's the water like? Or, nobody says anything like that. What they say is they go, you just walked up to two strangers and talked to them at the chip stand? It's like, yeah. Like, of course I did. That's where they get stuck. And then I think, like, leave that behind. I think, okay, well, one of my best friends, Don, I just struck up a conversation with him in Chicago O'Hare Airport. He became my best friend. One of my clients got a really good client out of me just talking to a guy at a restaurant one time. While I was waiting for my client who was in the bathroom, I have to wait for the table. And they say, well, just go have a drink. So we were. He went to the washroom. And I looked at this guy and I commented on his eyewear. I said, those are fantastic glasses. The next thing you know, we have a conversation. The next thing you know, they're talking. And the next thing I know, I get an email that says, hey, me and that guy are talking, signing papers, if you can believe it. Yeah, he became my client. We sort of exchanged emails, the way we went. That's where people stumble. They don't want to talk to strangers. It's like I said, we're in the friend-making business. Everybody in business is. You're in the friend-making business. You're in the people business. You got to show an interest in people, and you got to be comfortable reaching beyond those little boundaries. Like, I don't know. I just looked and knew, they're going to know. Look at them. They're clearly not from around these parts. I know those are the people I want to have as neighbors. They're going to know. They know what I'm looking for. I walked right over. Can you imagine if I didn't? No, I'll just go back and look at like the classified ads online and the real estate listings and stuff. Oh my goodness. The things that you're looking for are probably not listed, but the things that you're looking for are there. Okay? And you'll find them if you ask. And if the people that you know don't know where to find it, you might have to ask some strangers. Okay? Oh my goodness. That's it. That's my blog for today. Okay? Good things happen when you talk to people you don't know. Okay? Mix it up. I tell that story about my cottage all the time, and I'm telling you, at least 90% of the time, that's what everybody says. Let me understand this. Before they get into anything else, are you telling me you just went and talked to strangers? Anyhow, as always, thanks very much for paying attention and giving me this time. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.
We hope you enjoyed the Serious Shift Blogcast. We would love any suggestions, feedback on topics, ideas, or challenges that may have you feeling stuck. Also, please leave a 5-star review wherever you are enjoying this content. It helps Dennis out tremendously. One last thing, if you would like to take your game to the next level, go visit SeriousShift.com and download for free our latest white paper. It will seriously begin to help you shift. On behalf of Dennis and the team, see you next episode.